and down the River Estate lots, and then we'll see a couple of homes that are under construction along the way, and we'll head towards our Maya Mound Park here, and then we're going to circle back around to a really nice little neighborhood right here with these forested garden lots, and then we're going to head back to the house where we'll do a little Q&A. So
perfect. So with that, we're gonna get started. And I heard that we were just recording. Maybe put up a little bit there.
Oh, yep.
I don't think they care. I don't care about what we're listening to.
Okay.
But I did want to mention, folks. I know that it was just starting to get recorded there. So if you are listening to this at a later time, we are beginning our virtual tour here into Carmelita Gardens, a beautiful 100-acre off-grid, self-sustaining community about 7 miles from San Ignacio town, 7 miles rather from Spanish Lookout. So it is looking beautiful. Phil, I'll let you continue on there though. That's all I got to say for now.
Yeah, so exciting progress happening in the area though. You mentioned 7 miles from San Ignacio. That's getting ready to be reduced considerably as they're moving the old bridge from Belize City to Santa Familia Village. So now we're going to be a little closer to the market and stores and restaurants in San Ignacio town. So speaking of town, this is our town square here. This is a 300-foot by 300-foot village green, which is a traditional size. If you go back to the age of antiquity, it's just the right human scale for picnics, farmers market, cinema on the green, different activities that you see in a town square. And surrounded by the town square will be a little mom and pop shop to kind of think about a little Mayberry kind of setting with ice cream shops, restaurants, boutique stores, things like that. And speaking of boutique little neighborhoods, this is our cottage neighborhood. Each one of the cottages are individually owned, but it's on a microgrid, which is a shared power and water system. And this is to the left here is where the solar array is. It's kind of the main building, and also where we have our farmers market every Monday. Come and get produce from our organic garden.
There's the chickens.
Chickens too. Yeah. So yeah, we have different model homes. We have our cottages, our bungalows, and our villas. And so you just saw the cottages, and we have this information that Rachel will make available for you. And then we have a bungalow over here, Donald's bungalow, and that's another one of our models, as you can see here. There's also another bungalow coming up on the right side here, Tim and Laura's place. And also, Rachel, if you'll stop here, I just want to tell a little story about this lot right here. The 3 of our owners got together. They love trees, and one's a horticulturist. The other one is Dave, who is our kind of volunteer arborist, and Donald, who we just passed his house. He shipped down his woodworking equipment and is operating a little wood shop in our depot. But the 3 of them got together, bought this private lot, but have turned it into a public park. And I think that is a great expression of the kind of community that we have here in Carmelita Gardens, with people that do all sorts of different things. Like I said, Dave, he goes around plants and waters and prunes trees. Tim, he's helping out with all sorts of things. Tim's an old friend. We've known each other 30 years. He came down 12 years ago and helped me really get things going in Carmelita Gardens, and continues to help out around the community. Over here on the right side, you see this beautiful home here, which was actually the 3rd home that was built in Carmelita Gardens. And it sits on 2 lots. It's a luxury, we call it like a manor house, perhaps, a custom home with a pool in the backyard, gourmet kitchen, just a beautiful home, completely off grid. So you can see you don't give up any creature comforts. Frank and Amy host a church service every Sunday. So another kind of community activity that people, just volunteer their time in their home to be part of a nice convivial community. And Al's house, retired real estate agent from California, down here with his big fancy house, and then his chicken coop in the backyard. So it's part of the simple life we have here. And Matt and Rhonda. Rhonda is a music therapist, retired, but she's volunteering, teaching music lessons to the children in Santa Familia Village. And then there's Tree Dave's house here. Dave is also an avid pickleball player, and so he gets a group together every Wednesday and Saturday mornings and plays pickleball. This is one of our parks here. This is what they call a rain tree. There's a legend of the rain tree is that whoever finds the rain tree has found the secret to happiness in life. So we have a big, beautiful rain tree here, which one of my favorite stories is on the limb to the right there. A friend of mine came down with his girlfriend and he proposed to her there. We built a little swing, it was a mahogany seat, and on the bottom we had engraved, "Will you marry me?" So he went under there and she said yes.
Very sweet.
You know, so here's one of our resales. We actually have a number of resales. We pass by them. Rachel drives like she talks fast.
Oh.
Trying to keep up here. Yeah. But just speaking of resales and new construction, Rachel's going to host another virtual tour specifically featuring the houses. So we'll do, walk through the houses and also with the new construction so you can see, what's behind the walls basically and what the structure is, building really quality homes. Just yesterday, I had a visit with one of the insurance companies and, explaining to them everything that goes into our homes. And they were aghast. They're like, wow, these are really quality, well-built homes. And we've had a number of people come and tour our new construction projects that are builders, developers, other companies to just kind of see what we're doing here. So I look forward to that tour, Rachel. And so this was actually a friend of my family. He moved down here and built this home here, which he wanted sort of a Tuscan, Belizean fusion. And believe it or not, that house, the floor plan started from the floor plan from this house. But with our, great architectural team, you can see that you can have the same floor plan, but a much different look.
Beautiful. And I noticed too, Phil, next to the house that was the resale over there, there was a lot of papayas and plantains and bananas. Does that belong to that house, or that's
so those are additional lots,
lot?
but owned by the same owner. So they're selling
Lovely.
all the whole estate. So
Lovely. So it's all
yeah.
together.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then Ted and Sylvia's dodecagon. This is a 12-sided house. Sylvia wanted a round house, but told her that's going to be a little more difficult. At that time, we were building with concrete blocks. And so instead, we went with a 12-sided house. And I actually lived in the house for a while. They postponed their retirement. Sylvia was a professor and she got a deanship. And so that was always her dream. So for a couple of years, they invited me to stay and keep an eye on their house. And, 12 side, you kind of wonder, that's kind of weird, but it actually flows really, really nice. It's a beautiful home inside and got a big soaring ceiling with the exotic native hardwoods for the rafters. So anyway, you can choose from one of our models. As I mentioned, we've got bungalows and cottages, and we have villas. And then we can also design and build a custom home for you as well. So up here on the right, we're going to go and we're going to pass by house that's under construction now using our new materials and methods that I mentioned. We use insulated wall panels. So it has foam insulation and then welded wire mesh, which we then apply 3 coats of concrete, 2 rough coats, and then a nice finish coat. So you have the benefit of insulation, but also the benefit of the concrete, the longevity, the low maintenance, and lower insurance rates. So it looks like a regular concrete house from the outside, or a stucco home, but behind the walls there's insulation, which is a really good thing when you're in an off-grid situation. And we have a lot of people that want to install air conditioning units, so insulation is important. And all of our homes are off-grid, so they're all solar powered, rainwater catchment, and so they're filtered and pressurized systems, and then eco-friendly septic tanks. So you really have like I said, completely off-grid home, but you don't have to give up any of the creature comforts. So this is another home that's going on the market soon. It's a former property manager and his wife needed to return to the States. And so we're going to be kind of cleaning up the yard there where he has his work shed and all. And now that we have the depot, that's a really other positive advancement that we've had in Carmelita for construction as well as eventually a maker space. So there was mentioning Donald in his wood shop. So we'll have it available where Donald can teach you how to, safely use the equipment and build birdhouses, shelves, different little hobby projects there. So the construction company we have now is actually just started in September. We had independent contractors, but that wasn't really working out very well. So we now have taken it all in-house, and that's great. We're building on budget and we're pretty close to on time. Sometimes there's weather delays or some changes, by the owners. But one of our, it was actually the second house that we did, actually finished 2 months ahead of schedule. Here's a good example here. I don't know if you can put the phone over there. You can see the kind of behind the walls. That's the foam insulated panels, as I mentioned. And then on that, they'll be applying an inch to inch and a half of concrete on both sides, the inside and the outside. So there's a structural element to it. And like I said, it's nice and low maintenance and it's insulated.
And exactly. And I know, folks, this tour is really just for us to go and see the property. But we do have individual tours that we did, and we'll post that link in the description below on YouTube if you're listening to this afterwards. But we did do walkthroughs of the homes that are under construction, so you'll be able to see what it's looking like in greater detail. But as Phil mentioned, we'll also do another tour of just the homes under construction that you can join us live for.
Yeah. So we're gonna now just kind of give you orientation of where we are. Right, if you'll hold up the map. Okay. So said we started here at the entrance and we went around the town square, down past the cottage neighborhood to the peninsula and past the basketball, pickleball court. And now we're right about here. So we're going to continue on. We're going to go past Kelly's new home that's under construction. And then we're going to come by the Maya Mounds. Like I said, we'll circle back around to another neighborhood there. One other thing I wanted to point out with Carmelita Gardens is it's, again, it's designed as a kind of traditional town where you see you've got a town square that's within walking distance from all properties, and walking distance is considered a quarter of an acre or a 5-minute walk. I mean, a quarter of a mile, not an acre. Quarter of a mile.
There were some measurements anyway,
Whatever, right. So yeah, we'll go straight here. And also you can see that the kind of a little higher density by the town square, that's where we have our garden lots. And then the larger lots as it kind of radiates away from the town square. And then also along the riverfront, you'll see we have 5 different access points, which I felt that was really important. That what I saw happening a lot in Florida and other places is it's like, hey, we've secured the beach or whatever waterfront, and then the community doesn't have access, and so it is not really a waterfront community, but we are a riverfront community because there's 5 different access points and parks and areas where everybody can enjoy the river. In fact, one of the favorite things for folks to do is, if you'll hold the map here, is to put in right here with their inner tubes or even life jackets and just float. They just float around you're about a mile without leaving our stretch of the river. It's a nice about 1 hour float. So it's just perfect. And then if you want more, you just go back and start over again.
Well, and something else that is a really neat thing about Carmelita is that every year there's the Ruta Maya Canoe Festival, and they are canoes that are dug out of mahogany logs, and it's real wood canoes, but there's a race and they go from essentially the border of Guatemala to Belize City over 3 days, and they start right up here, don't they?
In San Ignacio, yeah, right by the Hawksworth Bridge.
So you're able to see them come past.
Yeah,
is really neat. So people will make a big celebration out of it. You get your foldable chairs, and you'll get your drinks and beverages and snacks in a cooler, and just watch the canoes go by. It's really neat.
Yeah, last year I think we had 3 or 4 different places where people were gathering in the morning. They're having their coffee and watching and cheering everybody on. It's a great event. Yeah,
it is. It's neat, and I know that. And I'll hold the phone over so you can see.
Yeah,
I know that throughout the last few years, we go and try to find a spot to watch it, but now we just can come to Carmelita.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this is Kelly's house. Kelly's a nurse practitioner. She's still active. She's doing online medical consultation, and also again part of our great neighborhood. If somebody's in need of some care or an opinion, she's readily available, and that's just a great thing to have on site. She's a wonderful lady, and we're building this really beautiful custom home for her, and we're getting close. It should be finished in August. So she's looking
Great.
forward to her golden ribbon. We start all of the homes with a golden shovel, groundbreaking, and we finish with a golden ribbon housewarming, and also kind of an appreciation for the crew. These guys work hard and build beautiful homes, and we like to show our appreciation.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Kelly's living here on site, isn't she? As she's ready
Yeah,
for the home.
he's and so that's kind of becoming a fairly common thing is to rent while your home is under construction. And so people are just, ready to make the move, and they don't want to wait till their home is finished. So they just come down, rent, and it works out great also because you're here to make selections. You want to pick out your tile, and you want to pick out your, granite countertop, what style cabinet faces are there going to be. There's a lot of different selections and choices. And so we like to help people through that process. And here on site is a good way to do it. There's another home. This is one of our villa models. Bill and Ellen Hughes, retired couple from Jacksonville, Florida. So Bill is actually a retired pool contractor, which I'm really excited about because we are in the process of designing our community pool. So that's a really great new announcement that I'll be making once we have a little bit more of the design work done. It's going to go right by the town square, where it's always been planned to have civic lots up there where there will be like a head house, kind of a gathering space, as well as pool and recreation area. So we're really excited about the pool coming up. Like I said, we're working on the design right now as we speak. I guess I'm in my mind. I'm designing it ready now. Here's Art's house, a modified model again, a villa, but he's going to have a cupola on the top and did a few other changes to the floor plan. So again, we've got a great architectural team who will work with you and design, and then we'll build for your lifestyle, for your budget. And now this is a little kind of forested little neighborhood here. Like I said, Tree Dave is he's planting everywhere throughout the community. But there's just one area when this was at one time it was just a cow pasture, and when we started Carmelita, it was pretty much denuded of trees. And now all of this has come back in the last 10 to 13 years. This area is more forested because actually this is where we kept the cattle for a while. We just fenced off about 40 acres while we were working on the western part of the community. And I think the cows did a really good job of, mowing and fertilizing. It looks like this whole forested area really grew up. And so now we're going through this little canopy road that we have. This is where the Maya mounds are. These are genuine Maya mounds. We've had the Department of Archaeology come out here and take a look at it, see what we can do in terms of a community project. And they're gung-ho behind it and said that it appears that our major structure is a little bit unique. It's a round structure. So usually you see that they're, square pyramids, temples, things like that, plazas. But they said it looks like this is a round one. And the only thing I know about round structures in the Maya world are temescals, which are like their, hot houses that they would do. So I'm wondering if maybe, let's go to the left here. Maybe this was a riverfront spa one time, 2,000 years ago.
You very well could be.
Oh. Coming up to another new home. This is the one that the crew did a really great job on. And it was really a real pleasure working with the owners. And this home was finished 2 months ahead of schedule. And so you can see this is a completely custom house. This is not one of our models, but it's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, but it's designed to be able to partition off a large living room into another bedroom, so it could be converted. So they're kind of thinking ahead. They're a retired couple, but they have children and grandchildren. So part of a kind of a legacy investment for them and a vacation home. So again, we'll be returning here for a house new home construction and existing house tour. And one of them will actually be Christie's home right here in front of us, which is just a beautiful home. She calls it Casablanca with the cupola, nice high ceiling. So there's great airflow and it's just a gorgeous home.
I'm gonna go back through the park lots.
Okay. Oh, you use the round, you know how to use a roundabout.
I don't want anyone to, take pictures of me and submit me to the community group.
Right.
Say, looking out for this car.
Crazy driver. So this is the green space where the pool will be going, right in here, overlooking the town square and the village green there. So yeah, we're going to go to the left here now. And this, again, let me get the map out so you can see where we are. We just kind of looped around. We're going to come down to this area right here where we have some lots available that are the garden lots, green garden lots. They back up to the green space and they have a lot of greenery on them. As you can see, these nice treed forested lots here. And right across is Deborah and Ann's home, which we just recently finished. We're going to be having a golden ribbon for them. It'll probably be the middle of July. Oh, there's Deborah. So they just returned. They went to Colorado, where they're from, for a couple of weeks after their home was finished, and now they're back. And so it's a mother and daughter. Deborah's a very interesting lady. She's a published author and she's written all sorts of books about her time in Africa as a volunteer at an orphanage there. So,
Oh, amazing.
yeah. Yeah. And now she's sewing school uniforms for the children of Santa Familia. So,
Great with that.
yeah.
And it seems like you have a really great community of people here who are getting involved and
Yeah, we really do.
want to integrate into
Yeah.
Belizean life.
Yeah, it's kind of thing that, people are not coming down here to just, retire and sit on the porch. They want to, come down and stay active and do things. And it's a great environment for you. It's a very healthy environment. Nice clean air. Go, yeah, take a right here. We've got great soil. We've got all of the conditions to be a really good, sustainable, self-sufficient community. And the village is, it's great. Santa Familia Village is a beautiful little village. And one of the things that I was told when Dan Silva, who this was his family property, the 98 acres of Carmelita Gardens. And when he approached me to come and do a development project, one of the only thing that he said was just make sure that Santa Familia Village wins also. And so, in other words, create economic development. And we have done that in spades. We've got, I don't know how many hundreds of jobs we've created over the years. And we have consistently probably about 50 or more people on site, mostly from Santa Familia, also other nearby villages. And they're great and good jobs too, not just labor jobs. I mean, it's runs the gamut to management and other things. And we've got Harry and Jackie, who are running the community garden and all of our agricultural initiatives. They sold their organic apple orchard in Minnesota, moved down here, built a house, and are now employing several people in the gardening and groundskeeping. And their whole idea is to get it set up and then turn it over, so it'll be employee-owned business. So yeah, the relationship with Santa Familia is great, and we're kind of properly part of Santa Familia. It's our village too. So yeah, they got the basketball and pickleball court. So they got a new net. They're all excited about, and painted the court there. And so I can, from the house, I can hear the
I guess
Yeah, the pickleball every
league
Wednesday
is
and
out.
Saturday morning. Yeah.
You don't go join them, Phil?
I do sometimes.
All right.
Yeah. Last time I went, I was undefeated.
Oh, imagine they
Yes,
never invited you back then. Huh?
right. Exactly. But one of the best players. I mean, they're all good. I'm impressed by the whole group. But Vern, he's 84 years old, and well, you should see that spry man just right around the pickleball court, giving it to the younger folks.
Hey, pickleball keeps you active.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're coming up to this is Kristen's house, and this is actually where Lisa and I live now. Kristen has 3 children, and she's now just recently been remarried and is living in Florida, and has decided that with the multiple properties she owns in Carmelita Gardens, she owns other lots, that she's going to sell the big house and then build a smaller house as a retreat later. So this home is one of the ones that is for sale, and we're going to do our Q&A here. And so you'll be able to see the house. We'll do a little house tour and then the Q&A. So just right from the start, you can see we're right here on the river. So this is the Belize River. We're about 2 miles downstream from the confluence, which is the joining of the Mopan and the McCall rivers. And here you can see this is great access. This is one of the reasons that Kristen liked this particular property. This little area right here is a cattle cut. So when this was a cattle farm or ranch, basically this is where the cattle and the horses could get down to the river for water. And it also makes for a nice, easy access to the river for taking down your inner tubes, your canoes, your kayaks to go fishing. So we'll go up the back stairs. We're backdoor friends, right? So, and our neighbors right across the way there, Matt and Rhonda. Matt's a retired professor from Southeast Louisiana, and now he does again volunteer. He'll do lectures at the community center, and just on fun topics, pirates and flat Earth society and different interesting topics. So I'm going to do a little tour of the house. You want to hold this while I
You
take
got
my
it.
boots off?
You got it. All right, so we will step inside. Hello.
So yes, nice high ceilings, spacious kitchen, living room area. Great for a family. Great for even it's just you or a couple. And like to entertain. It's definitely a great place for that. A good example of not having to give up any of the creature comforts by living off grid.
Mm-hmm.
And so the home is villas, and it's designed as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And so there's the master suite is over in the front corner, and we think about the orientation. The prevailing breeze comes from the north, east, kind of east, northeast. And so we orient a lot of times the bedrooms, living rooms, areas like that where you want to catch the breeze. So if Kristen's bedroom there, and then on this side of the house, they're the children's bedrooms with a Jack and Jill bathroom in between. We can go tour that. And then the loft, right now the loft is kind of a catch-all. But Kristen had it set up for homeschooling up there for kids. Now we've converted the bedrooms into a little fitness room and office, but of course you can imagine this has a bedroom. It's set up where the bed would go right in between the windows there, and a little place for a desk right here. And then you got the dresser and wardrobe. Here's the Jack and Jill bathroom. So it's got 2 sinks and the separate toilet and tub room in there. Then there's the laundry room here. That, and then the other bedroom, like I said, converted to an office here. But this was the girls' room, and so they had bunk beds here, um, Barbie toys and other things, kind of strewn all over here. But yeah, it makes for a good office, and then it goes right out to the porch. So we get back to where we started. Oh, we can see the master. So
Like a loop back around.
Yeah. Oh, look what seeing did. Uh, Yeah, and this is a unique feature that Kristen put in just because, like I said, she had the three children, and so they lined up right here doing their homework. She could be here and keep an eye on them. And then when they go, Mom, I'm hungry. I want more snacks. You could just do that. Close it down. And then the bathroom, nice big shower.
Mhm. Yeah, nice.
And then porch overlooking the rain tree and the community. So we got a nice eastern view here with the nice breeze that comes from the east on this side, and then on the other side is the river. So, and then also one of the features I threw in for the kids was the little Romeo and Juliet balcony that they can get through the window from the loft there.
Love it.
Yeah. So now we can go on the back porch and do a little Q&A.
All right, perfect. I am going to flip this back around. Hello, everyone. And we will get ourselves all positioned up for Q&A.
There we go.
All right, if you hold on to, I'm going to just grab something.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's see now.
There you go.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I see we're still recording, but no Phil or Rachel.
All right, I think we're back. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? All right, sorry about that, guys. We're connecting up to Wi-Fi and then not connecting up to the other services. So with that being said, Phil and I are back. We're happy to have everybody. Yeah, there we go. We're happy to have everybody here joining us for the Q&A. Yeah, we got to get a little taller there. But what I would ask is that if you have any questions that you would like to for us to answer, put those in the chat and we'll get those answered for you. Otherwise, Phil and I, if you know either of us, you know that we could just have a conversation over here on our own and talk away. So we can at least get started with that until anybody has any questions there that they want to get answered. But Phil, why don't you tell us in the meantime a little bit more about the ownership process? So first step is somebody picking out a lot, right? They decide where in the community they want to be. And then what does that process look like afterwards when they're ready to get started with their home?
Yeah. So
before you start, could you just turn your camera because you're that's it. Thank you. That's a little
Are we
easier.
good now?
I don't know. We can't see Phil though. I guess.
There we go. Perfect, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
We'll do it this way. Hopefully this works better. Okay, better.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So so the process, like you said, you pick out a lot, and then either a cash deal or we do developer financing as well. So based on that, if it's a cash deal, then immediately there's a deed of conveyance that is drawn up, signed, sealed, delivered to the lands department. And then lands department takes their time, but we track it through the process, and then when it's complete, it's delivered to the owner. So it's really a straightforward process. The only thing is take a little patience for the lands department. Yep. But to understand that is that years ago, there's a First American Title rep that used to come to a lot of the conferences, and she would do these presentations on title insurance in all these different countries. And then you never mentioned Belize. And just in Belize, they guarantee the title. And one of the things the lands department does is they are really diligent. It takes them a long time, but they go and they look at every letter. I mean, we've had it where, the acreage, which is expressed in 1,000th of an acre, like it was like a 5 instead of a 6. Oh, and they caught it and said, hey, we fixed it. Right. But so you got to be patient. And otherwise, basically is what I'm saying. But there's a reason as they are going. And so if you're doing developer financing, though, then you get on a payment plan. Right now, I think Rachel's idea, which I like it, is that we're doing it's 20% down. So basically, we're financing 80% at 8% interest for 8 years. So it's really easy to me.
Keep it easy.
Right. So based on that, you make your payments, and then after you finish the payment, then there's the closing where the same process happens. Then as the deed of conveyance goes to the lands department, and then eventually to the owner. If you want to build a house, then, which we're very fortunate that we have a lot of people building. Our pipeline right now, aside from the 5 that we have under construction, we've got another 15 that are lined up to begin construction of everything, cottages to villas, custom homes. So if you want to, join that pipeline, then the process is we do a discovery meeting with our senior designer, Luis, and we spend a little time on a Zoom call talking about, your lifestyle, your budget, the things that you're interested in, what are the features you want in your home, the size, different things like that, the finishings. And so with that information, Luis creates a nice conceptual design. And after a review meeting, any kind of tweaks, that leads to design development, which then we start to get into more of the specifics, where your electrical outlets want to be. You want to switch by the bedside, you want dimmer switches, whatever, things like that. Then that leads to a full set of construction documents, which are used to get a permit from the Central Building Authority, used to do a takeoff of all of the bill of quantities, everything that's going into the house, so that we come up with a budget and a schedule of building. And then building commences with the golden shovel, and we go through the whole process. And at the end, you get the golden ribbon cutting and housewarming party. So
Yeah.
Soup to nuts.
I love it. You know, it's nice that everything is turnkey essentially for somebody because
Yeah.
it is a little daunting if you're relocating to another country or trying to build in another country. And maybe you think you met the right person, but you have everything here already figured out. It's been proven. You have great contractors, a great
Yes, we do.
architect, great team.
We really
Right.
do.
People who listen. And I know when we were touring Kelly's house the other day, and something that you were mentioning to me is how when during that initial design meeting, Kelly was mentioning how she wanted the mosaic on the wall. And so the architect, right, helped her.
Stained glass.
Yes,
window.
yes, exactly. Helped her to figure out where to position it in the house to ensure that it has the light coming in at the right time.
Yeah, she was able to do the study with the sun, the path of the sun, and the shadows, and could show then it's like, oh, this is going to be on your bedroom wall. It's just, yeah, it's a beautiful, yeah. So yeah, the joke is that we're building a whole house around her stained glass window.
Well, not really a joke though. It is intentional. Perfect. And I know you also mentioned too about the deed of conveyance and everything taking time here. And, you know, do note that it is Belize. Obviously having patience is very, very important, but also things are registered with the lands department. So it's not like, even though it takes a few months, you know, months to get that paperwork, everything's all registered at the time and that it's being submitted. You get an instrument tracking number, and then that instrument tracking number lets you know where your title is and your property is in that process of being transferred over to you. So you at least have that, you know, you have that reassurance, which is helpful, especially for North Americans. We're so used to things happening within 30 days at the close.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the ownership, you know, the ownership, what is it? The rights of possession, access, whatever, you know, that all of that is done at the closing. So when I sign the deeds and it's sealed and we have a justice of the peace witness it, that's and the money exchanges hands, just like it's done in the States. Most people, you go to the closing table, money exchanges hands, documents are signed. That's it. The ownership has been transferred. That's it. There's a lot of people that get all caught up and it's like, I don't have my deed yet. I don't have my deed yet. And it's like, you might not have your deed for a year.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's yours. You own, I have no longer have any control, any rights over it. And that's the same thing as it's going through the process in the lands department. People are like, can you do something? Like, I can't. You can call them. It's your land, but there's nothing that I can do to make it go any faster. It's no longer my property for one thing. You know?
And it's not, you know, it's not really like there's a real reason why you need it to go faster, right? You know, as long as you have that deed of conveyance or the instrument tracking number, like if there's a life change or something happens and you need to sell the property before you get that actual piece of paper, you're still able to sell it, right? As long as you have that instrument tracking number. But
I will tell you, there is one thing now, and you know, things change. The lands department, different bureaucracies, but they have a commissioner of stamps, and she is in charge of the valuation.
Yes.
And so when we put a valuation for the lot, and it's going through the process, and then you begin construction, it's your property, you're building on your property. But now it gets to that point, it goes through, you know, indexing, cashier review, whatever, all the steps it goes through, it gets to valuation. And now they go on Google Earth and they see a roof, like, oh, wait a minute, the value is higher. And they will put what they call an up stamp. They'll and then you have to pay the stamp duty for that difference. So if you're going to build, it's best to go ahead and pay off the lot first. And then
agreed.
Go.
Entirely agree.
Yeah, so that you get through that. Once it's through valuation, and this is what the closing agent does as well. They track it through the different stages. Once it's through valuation and the stamp duty is confirmed at that valuation, then go. But until then, you don't want to
wait. You want to wait. And it has happened. You know, it's not just Phil and I talking about something that could happen. I mean, it has happened where, you know, you pay for your lot, it's, let's say $50,000. I always estimate I always recommend you estimate about 10% in closing costs, 8% stamp tax, and about another 2% for the closing agent fee, but another 10%. So let's say that's $5,000 on a $50,000 lot. So you're anticipating paying $5,000. But if the process, like Phil is saying, takes a year or two, and you're getting antsy to start building, and you start building before you actually have the title in hand, or you have the property closed entirely, well, they're gonna value it based on what they see on the land.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it does happen. So you're
It's like the
putting
Google Earth, what it used to be when the satellite would go over and we'd see, progress, that aerial progress, like, wow, cool, there's a Google Earth. Now it's like, oh, no, don't.
don't look at it.
That's what land is looking at. They're like, oh, look.
Right, because the value is higher with the home on the lot. That makes sense.
Right.
That does make sense.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have a question about the nearest town and medical care. So, as we mentioned earlier, Spanish Lookout and San Ignacio are both 7 miles from us. There's a clinic in San Ignacio, actually a couple of clinics in San Ignacio. There's a public health one, and then there's also the Seventh-day Adventist one called La Luma Luz. And they're both good facilities for kind of primary care. But if you need something beyond that, it would be going to either, Belmopan or probably Belize City is kind of the main medical hub, I guess, if you will, in the country. Right. And I think, once again, at that kind of primary and secondary care level, Belize is fine for that. But if you really need specialists, most people then go to maybe go to Merida, Mexico, they might go to Guatemala City, or they go to the US, kind of depending on what it is that they need care for.
And you mentioned too the nearest town, and I do want to mention that we are in the Santa Familia town over here. So yes. You just drive right outside of the development, you make a left, and within a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you're at the grocery store, the Hume's grocery store, and they just added there's a gym now over there too. So if someone wants to work out.
Jim and Melvin, Hume's, the owner, he's also building a restaurant now just down the road.
Oh, fantastic.
So there are things coming. Santa Familia is growing, and it's really exciting to see. And we've kind of been, a big part of that growth, and continue to be so. So that bridge also, like I mentioned, it's going to come in right over there in Santa Familia. So that'll bridge the gap.
Literally.
Literally. Right.
But then going to be 7 minutes to San Ignacio instead of 20, not even.
Exactly.
So it really is really substantial. That's where you have the big, San Ignacio town, Burns Avenue, a bunch of restaurants. You just Google San Ignacio town, Belize, and you can look to see what's already here, but it's a great option.
San Ignacio and Santa Elena, they're kind of the twin towns right across the river from each other. And so a lot of different businesses and resources there. So do you see any other questions here? I think this is pretty good. When I do it by myself, there's all sorts of questions. So
well, that's because we both talk a lot, so we get a lot. People don't even need to ask the questions. We're already going. Well, what we would recommend then is, we have the FAQ guide, we have a brochure, we have information for people. Oh, let's say Gary's back. Let's see what Gary says. Most, but not all homes are built on stilts. Can you talk about elevation and flooding potential?
Yeah, so there's an area on the, let me get the map over here so you can see. So this area right here along the river here is is it? Okay. So this area here is the area that has historically had some flooding. And that's where we build all of the houses up. And we have kind of the high water mark, which we build above that. All of our homes are designed, engineered, and built to be resistant to those flood waters, and it has been proven that it's worked. So the very first time that we did have a flood, we had prepared for it, and the water came up and went down, and less than 2 days. I think it was like the day and a half, and it had receded. No structural impact at all. So the only thing is that, if people have stuff, stored down on the ground floor, you want to be able to easily move it up if that occurs. But this is common, with different kinds of weather conditions. You just be prepared for it. I grew up in Michigan, and so snow and blizzards and stuff, you're not, leaving your dog outside in the winter or anything. So this is just one thing that can happen, and it's it's not common. I mean, it happens, but you can prepare for it. And that's what we've done. And if you just kind of think about it, you can live, every day down on, the ground floor, have your barbecues, all that. But then it's something that you see coming, fortunately. It's not, a tornado or, something that all of a sudden you see it, say, okay, I better prepare. And that's another great thing about our neighborhood. So we've always come together whenever there's been a need like that. And so that's a good question. And something that, like I said, we've addressed with the design, engineering, building, and community.
Yep. And it's true. It's all throughout Belize. If you're looking for any property on a river, you'll notice that, 99.9% of the homes are raised to anticipate that. So it's just,
and some people raise them just to they get there to get more of the breeze and the view, whatever. So there's other reasons to raise houses as well. But in the context of your question about flooding, that's a good reason there. So looks like David's asked about how many finished homes, resale homes do you have for sale now? So we have, it's now 45 homes that are complete, or if I include the ones that are under construction that are almost complete, we're at about 45. And like I said, we have a pipeline of about 15 new homes that are becoming over the next year. And then the resales, we've had some more resales come on the market now. I think there's the 3 that I know of, and like 2 others that are going to be coming on the market. I've seen a couple of people that are looking to, sell their homes for sale by owner or whatever. But I've also been told that they're just testing the market. So I'm not sure. I look at it this way, that, a really good economy is when money is exchanging hands on a regular and, kind of a fast pace. And then you get a recession when that slows way down, and it's depression when it stops. So right now we're in an economic boom. We've got several people coming. We've got more houses being built. We've got resales now, and it's a good thing. Some people don't want to wait. They don't want to build a house. They just want to come down, move in, and be ready to start, retirement, living their life, whatever it is. So it's good to have these resales on the market, and that's something that again, Rachel will be handling all of this. This is part of my grand succession plan, and I like that because the root word is success, right?
Yeah, that's our goal.
So anyway, that's a good question. And again, Rachel will be hosting a home tour, new construction and resales.
Yes.
And so we'll get that word out to everybody.
Yeah, it's true. Not everyone's, ready to wait, wants to wait for a home to be built. And, because it does take about a year and a half to get the home from, the point of design to the point of being ready to move in. So
we have some of our model homes now, cottage or bungalow. It could be, much faster than that if you just choose the model and, you're not making modifications. You're not coming up with a custom home. It's just, okay, we want this, let's get going. So that can be faster. Certainly, faster than one of our visitors was telling me in Toronto. He's a builder there, and the permit process is 9 months. I'm like, we could go from beginning to end in 9 months. And he's like, no, you don't even start until 9 months.
Wow. So, oh, wow. Yeah, that's some time to wait.
So yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, Belize time, or whatever. But when you start to examine, it's like, waiting for the cable guy in the U.S. or getting a permit to build in Toronto.
Right.
It's like, things are faster in Belize.
Imagine that. Never would have thought that. But, there's not all that regulation, like you see in the States. And that's a big reason why people come down here, right? We say it's the Wild West, but in a joking way, but, in reality too. But the lifestyle here is just a lot more laid back. Yes. It's a lot less regulated, it's just a lot more easygoing, I would say.
The land of the free by the Carib Sea.
There you go.
The national anthem. But it's true. It's there's a lot of freedom. That's what people like, and that's what draws a lot of them to Belize.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So okay, well, any other thoughts or?
Well, I would say that it's good that you pointed out the financing options, right? So if anybody is interested in picking up a lot, what I've seen just from the real estate side, I've been living in Belize for the last 12 years. And I would say that this district specifically that we're in, the Cayo district, it's, you know, the heart of farmland, agricultural land. There's that big Mennonite population in Spanish Lookout that Phil was mentioning, which is just 7 miles down the road. So it's very close. We have great produce here. It's just a great agricultural industry, fertile land. And I've seen from my experience is that over the last 4 years, really since COVID, is this area has been booming, right? Booming, because a lot of times people, what they were realizing during COVID is they wanted some space. They also didn't want to be relying on the grid. They didn't want, you know, they wanted to just be able to live. And we found that Cayo was the area for that. So, you know, I split my time between San Pedro, Ambergris Key, and here in Cayo, and have just watched the property prices here in Cayo continue to go up. Even when you just look at tourism numbers, you know, the number of tourists that have been coming to Cayo over the last 4 years has significantly increased. So you can just land bank, right? That's one of the other ways that I look at it too, is you just pick up land, hold on to it. You know, if you're able to build, fantastic, you know, maybe life will bring you down here to Belize, maybe not. And then you just resell it down the line when the time's ready for you. But otherwise,
we've had people do that, they, you know, they're maybe whatever it is, they're not ready to retire yet or something, but just go ahead and secure the property now. It's a good investment. And if things change, it's okay. You've now been able to move an asset offshore, which for a lot of people, that's an important thing. And so whether you're using it for your lifestyle or for an asset protection plan, it's a good move. And the developer financing is also a facility that people use for that too. It's like, okay, I'm going to retire in 5 years, so let me do this. And it's just part of an overall plan. And all right, Michelle, you're sold.
Come on down. So, well, I do like this question here from Sarah. She's saying, what if we want to make a visit? Where do we stay and eat? Oh, we can give you a whole bunch of recommendations.
And you and Michelle can come down together then. So we have places to stay on site. One of the requirements for renting homes, I mean, any rental, is that you need to have a hotel license from the Belize Tourism Board. And so we had a previous property manager who secured a license, but I didn't realize he secured it under one of my companies. And when he left, I went to take over, and I contacted BTB, and they're like, no, this is under your company, and the entire development. So it wasn't like individual cottages. So the only way anybody could have a hotel license is if it was under my company. And I said, that's not right. You know, that's a monopoly, and, you know, people should be able to do their own thing. And so we've gotten that fixed at the BTB now, but the individuals now need to get their hotel license. So right now we're not really in a position where we can rent stuff out on site, but soon we will. In the meantime, there are plenty of nice places to stay in San Ignacio, which is, like I said, 7 miles away, as you mentioned. And you can come out and spend the day here and, you know, get to meet the neighbors, go on a little river float, just kind of get to know the place. Rachel or myself, somebody will be around to give you a tour. We can show you homes. So yeah, let us know when you want to come down. Sometimes we do discovery tours where there'll be organized group tours. But most people, we find, they just like to kind of do their own thing on their own schedule. And then we just arrange the tours and the meet and greets for you. Do you have to rent a car? Not necessarily. Some do, some don't. It just kind of depends on what level of kind of freedom and exploration you want. If you want to be able to just go to Mountain Pine Ridge or go here and go and see things, you might want to rent a car. You'll end up spending as much on taxis and shuttles and things like that. So if you're that kind of a free spirit, but if you're just coming just to look at the property and kind of meet the neighbors, you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. You could get a shuttle, and then from your hotel or whatever, a taxi, and they can go work that out. And sometimes it works out where one of the neighbors are, hey, I'm in town and I can pick you up and get you back here. And so I do want to mention too, from the safety element, I know when I moved down to Belize 12 years ago, I moved down by myself, didn't have a family, didn't have anyone here to really hold my hand and do it. And what I found about Belize
generally is that it is a very, very safe country. Now, the one thing I will tell you is if you decide that you want to rent a car, what you have to look out for are the potholes and speed bumps. They just creep up on you, right? That is probably the most dangerous part about Belize, of driving here in Belize.
Sleeping police.
Yeah, they'll wake you right up. But that would be the one thing. But otherwise, it is quite safe. And there's 4 or 5, I guess now with the coastal highway, there are 5 primary highways here in the country. And Google Maps works here. So, you're easily able to get from point A to point B if you want to rent a car. But also I understand, sometimes it's a little daunting to have to think about renting a car and driving in another country. But we do drive on the right-hand side of the road, even though it's a former British colony. We drive on the right-hand side of the road. You're able to get places pretty easily. I would say just watch out for those speed bumps and potholes.
Yeah. That's my very first visit to Belize. We landed Sartene airstrip, and so there's just dirt roads out there. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And I remember the guy who was driving it picked me up, and he's like on this side, and he's on that side. He's going, and then here comes an oncoming car, and they're doing the same thing. And the steering wheel's on the left side, and I'm like, okay, but this is a former British colony.
And we're driving on
like, which side of the road do you drive on? And he's the best side. Like, oh, okay.
It's true. You just gotta dodge whatever's in front of you, whether it's potholes or dogs or whatever it is.
I'll never forget that. The best side.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and I see Michelle's here asking about high with crime. Yeah, you know what? And like anywhere in the world, there is crime. It's primarily focused in Belize City, in just a very specific part of Belize City, which is the south side. But I could tell you that I go to the city quite frequently, rent a car if I need to drive around. There's no reason for anybody to be in the south side, but it's overall very safe. And here at Carmelita, it's a small village, right? It's a small village in Carmelita, and then within Santa Familia. So something that I was talking about with some clients who were in town yesterday was that small town comfort. Because where I grew up, it was about 30 to 35,000 people, which felt like a small town. But here, I mean, it's a small town. You go to the grocery store, they're asking you how your kids are doing. You get random discounts places that you go. They'll if they know what you like to eat, and then they get that in inventory, they'll be like, "Oh, we just got more of your favorite chips in. Go take a look there." And it's just really, really comfortable.
Like, oh, you know what? I left my wallet at home. Oh, don't worry. Pay me when you get back. No, it's like, oh, great, thanks.
Exactly. So I see Edward.
Map online. Yeah, you can go to the Carmelita Gardens. .com, go to our website and maps. And there's a lot of information there. Yeah.
And I see Edward's also asking about, I'm thinking home power is primarily solar or wind. How much power is recommended for a single family home? When is the next discovery tour?
Yeah, so it is solar. We've looked at wind, and it used to be that it would have the kind of the propeller turbines, and you need like 9 miles steady, constant to get kind of a return on the investment. But now with the vertical turbines, are very efficient, and I've been told that now, 4 miles per hour intermittent would be fine. So we're going to be looking into that, putting up a little weather station to try to get an idea of what the return on that wind turbine investment would be. But with the solar or wind, whatever it is, to power a typical house, their kind of standard solar package is a 4 kilowatt system. Then people just kind of take a look at what their needs are, whether it's, adding more air conditioning units, or they want to have a convection oven, or, they had one guy says, I turn on my coffee maker in the morning and I leave it on all day. Well, that's anytime you have to heat something up or cool it off, a refrigeration, a freezer, it's going to take more power. But we audit your energy needs, and then size the solar package appropriately. And then they're also kind of plug and play now. So if you needed more power, then you add another battery and a few more panels. The electronics already be set up for that upgrade.
Michelle's asking, how reliable is the internet? Not ready for retirement yet.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think Belize in general has good internet. So a lot of times where we'll be doing webinars or online things, and it's not our internet that is flaky, it's somebody else's. And remember, Leaf was in Illinois, of all places, you think, and doing one of these big webinars, and it was his signal was shakier than the one here. So we run our business on site. There are other people that run businesses. They've got, online consulting businesses, day trading, whatever it is. And it's fine. It's not to say that it's 100%, but it's not 100% anywhere.
Right.
And I find that the service providers, and we have three choices, which is nice. There's competition. So we have three different providers here: Smart, Digi, and
Next Gen.
Infinite.
Oh, do you have Next Gen?
We don't have. No,
not yet.
not
So
yet, yeah.
there's could be another one down the line then. But
Yeah, I talked to them, but there was something about their network. But
yeah, got it.
But with Digi, Infinite, and Smart, we got it covered pretty
good.
much. Yeah. Not ready for Tiger retire. Me either. I love what I do, but I do need to slow down. So that's why here's the baton.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're really good to fill out the design, so it'll be nice to see you getting even more involved with that and
That's
the
my
depot
passion.
and
I love
everything.
it. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Michelle. Yeah, we'll be definitely in touch.
Yeah.
With your kids. Good. Good. We love kids.
Perfect.
Yeah. So please, yes, coordinate. We'll do that. Oh, somebody had asked about a discovery tour. I don't know. We need to talk about that. When is a good time for a discovery tour?
Yep.
And we'll let you all know.
And then I see Siraj was asking about, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly there. You previously mentioned fiber optic would be getting close. Any update there?
So it is still close. The fiber optic is in Santa Familia, and so as a community, we've looked at it because the company wanted us to pay for everything to put it in, and as a community, we was like, yeah, we just don't want to spend $250,000 to invest in their business, basically. And so they've started to kind of come around, and they said they want to begin conversation again about how they can extend the lines. So I think, as they see more and more houses are coming, that they know that they'll get a return on their investment.
Right.
So it's a good question. And yeah, we hope to see it soon. But in the meantime, we're still, on the microwave signals, which are working well for us. Frank, who was kind of spearheading this, has calmed down now because he's got a good signal to watch his Alabama Crimson Tide during football season.
Well, it really has been quite steady, and I know that the fellow that we were chatting with, Don, his internet's quite good, and it really depends on what speed you want, right? You can opt for whatever speed of internet you want when you're when you're purchasing. So
10, 20, 60.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Michelle's asking for the web address. Elisa, would you mind posting that there? Be great, so everybody can see. Okay, well, I know Gary had said, thank you, and he had to go off because he had another call, and I'm actually in the same situation. This is for our next home start. I'm going to have a nice call with the owner, who's up in Massachusetts with his dog Gracie, ready to come on down. And he actually purchased a cottage. So rather than renting, he purchased a cottage, and that's where he's going to live until his house is finished, and then he can put his cottage in rental pool, register it with the BTB and all. So it's Sandy's house.
Yeah,
But,
it's good. Well, and it's the BTB, the Belize Tourism Board, is the one that does the hotel registration. If you do long-term rentals and you rent to someone who's a resident, a citizen, or has a status here in the country, you don't need your BTB hotel license. So that could be a nice loophole for somebody if you're thinking about how it is that you want to structure your ownership, right? Let's say you're not really ready to move down, but you do want to earn some money on it. You can do long-term rental, and I think there's always going to be a need here because there's lots more lots to get homes on it, and if you want to wait, then you long-term rent it, just like he's planning on doing with his cottage once his home is done.
So
that's a really good. That could be a good loophole.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So if you have any more questions, you send them to info@carmelitagardens.com. And Rachel, you want to give your address, or
just reach out to that one, and we'll be in touch. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So info@carmelitagardens.com, and you can visit our website at carmelitagardens.com and check out. There's a lot of good information there. And the best way, obviously, to experience it, the virtual tours are great, but just coming down, in person, because then you can feel the breeze and the sunshine, and get that fresh air in your lungs. And Rachel can give you a great tour.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you here in Belize. Bye, everyone.
Same thing. Bye-bye.